On March 8, 2014, a routine international flight prepared for departure. Within hours, it would become one of aviation's greatest mysteries.
Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370 was scheduled to fly from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia to Beijing, China. The aircraft assigned to the flight was a Boeing 777, one of the most successful long-range passenger jets ever built.
Engineers and ground crews completed final inspections as departure time approached.
Back 02, correct heading. Maintain flight level 370.
Inside the terminal, passengers moved through security checkpoints and prepared for the overnight journey.
Visible contact not yet established.
Many passengers expected to arrive in Beijing early the next morning, unaware of the events that would follow. The flight crew completed standard preparations and reviewed the route ahead.
270 vector for spacing.
Speedbird 85, cleared to land runway 28 right.
Weather conditions along the planned route appeared favorable for a routine
Flight
flight.
level 300, Bunav active. Checked and confirmed, Captain.
Inside the operations center, every flight is tracked. But when deviation
Shortly after
occurs,
midnight
systems
local
go
time,
on high
the
alert.
aircraft pushed
Precision
back from the
tracking
gate.
becomes critical.
The jet
United
taxied
420,
toward the
maintaining
runway
flight level
beneath
330.
bright airport floodlights.
United 420, descend and maintain flight level 240.
Skywest 42, climb to reach flight level
Descend to
28.
240, United 420.
Moments later, the aircraft accelerated down the runway and lifted into the night sky. Air traffic controllers monitored the flight as it climbed steadily toward cruising altitude.
Flight 427,
For
reestablish
passengers and
primary radar
crew,
contact.
the flight seemed no
Advise
different
turning left,
from
heading
thousands of
180.
others crossing Asia every day. But less than an hour after departure, a series of events began that investigators would spend years trying to
Southeast
understand.
Asia's skies are among the busiest
As
in
the
world.
aircraft approached the boundary
This
between
network
air traffic
connects
control
major
regions,
global hubs.
routine communication procedures continued as expected. Controllers prepared to transfer responsibility for monitoring the flight to the next air traffic control sector. A routine radio message
Flight
was
412.
exchanged.
She is deviating.
Nothing in the communication
up the weather
suggested that
radar now.
anything unusual was about to
Direct all
happen.
feeds to the main screen.
Minutes later, the aircraft stopped transmitting its standard tracking information. At first, there was no immediate indication that a major emergency had occurred.
They just changed our gate to B24.
Controllers attempted to establish
We need to
contact,
focus on the last
expecting
known
a
telemetry.
routine response from the flight.
The transponder went completely silent right over this ridge.
When communication could not be reestablished, concern slowly began to grow.
The next challenge would involve one of the largest and most complex search operations ever conducted.
Investigators later discovered that military radar systems had recorded additional aircraft movement. According to later analysis, the aircraft appeared to change direction after losing normal tracking contact.
Rescuer 1 to Ennis vessel, initiating search grid Bravo. Copy that, maintaining low altitude scan.
This unexpected movement would become one of the most important clues in the investigation. As hours passed, authorities worked to determine the aircraft's possible location. Authorities gradually realized that locating the
This trajectory
aircraft
doesn't match
would
the
require
flight
a
plan.
major
Pulling up the
international
transponder
effort.
logs now. This deviation doesn't align with standard protocols.
What initially appeared to be a communication issue was evolving into one of the largest aviation investigations in modern history.
Silent sentinels orbit our planet. They operate in the cold vacuum of space. This is the invisible network connecting us all.
The next challenge would involve one of the largest and most complex search operations ever conducted.
The telemetry deviates right here at 30,000 feet.
Let's run the weather overlay for that sector.
Maintain this heading, the swell is picking up.
I have a visual on the grid. Grid 4 is clear, moving to 5.
Direct Team 2 to the ravine.
As dawn broke across Southeast Asia, search and rescue teams began mobilizing. What started as a missing flight was rapidly becoming an international emergency.
Months later, new findings would provide the first physical clues in the mystery.
More than a year after the aircraft disappeared, investigators were still searching for definitive answers. Then, an unexpected discovery captured global attention. On a distant island in the Indian Ocean, an object was found along the shoreline.
Authorities examined the object to determine whether it might be connected to the missing aircraft.
Copy that. Photographing the engine core now.
Experts identified the piece as part of a Boeing 777, providing the first major physical evidence linked to the case.
This looks like fatigue.
The discovery confirmed that the aircraft had likely ended its journey in the Indian Ocean.
Thermal fatigue extends right through the housing.
Investigators continued studying ocean currents to understand how debris could have traveled such long distances. Computer models helped estimate where floating debris may have originated. Additional aircraft fragments were later discovered on other coastlines across the region. Each new discovery provided another piece of a puzzle that remained incomplete.
The shear points match up perfectly. We are reviewing the stress tests. The serial marking shows no signs of fatigue.
Specialists worked carefully to verify the origin of every recovered object. Meanwhile, search teams continued scanning remote sections of the ocean floor. Underwater vehicles mapped vast areas that had never been explored in such detail. Investigators hoped that locating the main wreckage could answer many of the remaining questions. Despite years of effort, the search area remained enormous and challenging to navigate.
With evidence still incomplete, attention turned toward the many questions that remained unanswered.
Years after the disappearance, investigators had collected an extraordinary amount of data. Yet many key questions remained unanswered. The available evidence helped narrow possibilities, but no single explanation could be confirmed with complete certainty. Investigators continued comparing radar information, satellite data, and recovered debris.
Using advanced satellite tracking, we can now visualize global flight paths with unprecedented, photorealistic detail.
Investigators continued comparing radar information, satellite data, and recovered debris. At the same time, aviation experts examined ways to improve global aircraft tracking systems.
A new era of global surveillance is here. Next-generation satellite networks track flights in real time, bridging the gaps across our vast oceans.
The disappearance highlighted the challenges of monitoring aircraft across remote regions of the world. In response, aviation organizations explored new technologies designed to improve flight tracking and emergency response.
I agree completely with that proposal.
For families connected to the flight, the search for answers remained deeply important.
The Grid 4 updates are now live.
Above the clouds, the vast horizon offers a moment of pure reflection, a silent witness to the quiet wonder of flight.
The mystery encouraged advances in technology, search planning, and aviation safety procedures.
The search for understanding continues. Through research, technology, and international cooperation, the lessons of this mystery continue to shape the future of aviation.